Hello. So this week we've been really busy, made loads of films. I think I'm making films 17 days in a row. On Monday, David and I went to Southmead and we made our second film there. It's about two girls who magically summon up their evil twins who end up causing havoc in the school. That was great fun. We've got to finish that, and we're going to finish that next Monday, as well as making a third film in Southmead. On Tuesday, Luke and I went to Worsley Bridge Primary School, where we started work on a Year 6 Leavers film. We interviewed every single student in Year 6, and we asked them 3 questions: what their favourite memory of Worsley Bridge was, what they're going to miss most from Worsley Bridge. The following question was where they see themselves in 15 years' time.
I'm going to be a freestyle scientist where I just...
It was really good fun. We interviewed about, I think, 45, 46 students. If I remember correctly, the thing they remember most about school was the teacher sitting on a banana.
I remember when Miss Pawn sat on a banana.
On Wednesday, I went to Lady Margaret Primary School in Ealing, where I made a film within an afternoon. It's about students who are addicted to playing games. They're so caught up in playing video games that they'd rather stay in on a gorgeous sunny day and play Fortnite than they would go outside and enjoy the sun. That was good fun. While I was doing that, Luke and David were in Green Dragon Primary School and they were continuing to make Foodzilla. I looked at some of the footage. It looks hilarious. Needless to say, there's lots of shots of giant hot dogs rolling over students, with the army being called in to try and kind of keep it under control. On Thursday, Luke and I went to Chesterton, where we made an entire film in an afternoon. It's been a long time since we've done that, but it's about an unruly class who misbehave every time the teacher's back is turned. He can never quite catch them, or can he? That's going to be a great film as well. That's the second film that group has made. I think it's the last film they're going to make on the course, so we've had really good fun with them, and I'm looking forward to seeing not only the film we made today about the bad class, but also the film they made last week about the magic pencil. That is what we've done this week. Catch up with you next week to see how those films are progressing. In this week's vlog, I thought we'd try something new. I thought we'd introduce a new segment called Shot of the Week. The idea being that each week I'll talk about a different camera shot or a different camera technique that we like to use in Heyday and that you guys will be using if you're on the course. This week, we're going to be looking at shot, reverse shot. Now, those of you who are on the course will often hear me saying, now we're going to do the reverse shot. What do I mean by that? Well, before I say too much, here are some examples. Now, shot reverse shot is a film technique where one character is shown looking at another character, often off screen, and then the other character is shown looking back at the first character. It doesn't have to be two people looking at each other, but often it takes place in a conversation. It can be, for example, a character looking at an object or looking in a particular direction, much like I am now. The reverse shot would be if we turn the camera around to see what it was that I'm looking at. Again, here are some more examples.
I like you, Captain Jack. Hit them with everything you got.
Ma'am, it's already done.
It's really common, really useful, and really simple to do. Shot, reverse shot. If we're setting up a shot, reverse shot scene between two people having a conversation, ideally we'd use 2 cameras, okay? So a camera here, imagine I'm having a conversation with someone else in school. There'd be a camera here filming me. At the same time, there'd be a camera just out of frame here, you can't see my hand, filming the other person reacting to what I'm saying. It could be reacting to what I'm saying, or it could be responding to what I'm saying. So say, for example, I said to the character in front of me, and I'm looking at them, or looking at them here, if I said, you have the smelliest breath I've ever smelled in my life, the reverse shot would be that person responding or reacting to what I've just said. Perhaps something along the lines of, me? Shot, reverse shot. When you're editing, it gives the editor the chance to cut between 2 characters. It speeds things up a little bit. Lots of filmmakers like to use it because it doesn't bog down boring dialogue scenes where you just have one person talking to the camera or one person talking to the character, or having 2 people in the shot at the same time. You can make it a lot faster and a lot quicker, and you can speed the kind of pace of the film up. Sometimes in Heyday I'll turn up with 1 camera, and that means it's a little bit trickier and it's a little bit more laborious to set up. So I'll do it with 1 camera, and then we'll have to remember what it is my character said, and then we'll have to cut, move the camera to here, and then film that person's responses. I think that's where some people get confused because they don't know why we're going back in time. It if you know what I mean. They don't know why we'd film one person talking, say cut, move the camera, and then get that other person reacting after it's already happened. That's the way we do it if we're using one camera. But as I said, it's a lot simpler and a lot easier if you do it with two cameras running at the same time. Okay, so another new segment that I want to add into these vlogs for a number of reasons, one of which is to see if you guys are actually watching, but also just to kind of increase the number of films that you wouldn't normally watch. I'd like to select a feature-length film each week that you haven't seen, and we'll talk about it, or I'll talk about it. I'll give you basic understanding of what that film is, and then I'd like you to go away and watch it and answer some questions on that film. And the reason I'm going to put questions in there is because I want to see if you watched it. If you can write reviews, brilliant, but I'll probably ask you specific questions, and those of you who can give me the right answer to the question will get a Heyday badge, or Heyday stickers, or Heyday keyrings, or Heyday guitar plectrums. But it's going to be a question that you can only answer if you've seen the film. So once I learn to figure out how we can put Hollywood films into these vlogs without being told off by Warner Brothers or Paramount or Marvel or Fox, or I'll start to suggest you watching a famous film from the last 90 to 100 years. Until then, however, we're going to do it on past Heyday films. And my past Heyday film of the week is called What Goes Around Comes Around. Now, this is one of the first films that I made for Heyday over 5 years ago. In fact, it was probably 5 years ago exactly, I should think. I remember making it, I think we made it on one of the hottest days of the year, and stupidly I had elected to wear the chicken costume, and it was absolutely boiling and unbelievably uncomfortable to wear. If you look really carefully, you can probably see like beads of sweat dripping down my forehead. It was an absolute nightmare. But the film is great. The film's really funny. It's got it's got no dialogue whatsoever. So it's technically a silent film, but don't be put off by it. It's really funny. And my question for you is this. In the film, there is a giant continuity error. Those of you who've done the course should know what I mean by continuity. Think of it as a giant movie mistake, something that's accidentally in there that shouldn't be, an editing error, if you will. It should be fairly obvious. It happens a few times in the film, and I want you to think about what that continuity error is. I think just for this week, because it's the first one, and I need to order some more badges, I'm going to give out Heyday keyring. Heyday keyring to the first person from each of the schools I go into who can come up to me, having watched the film, What Goes Around Comes Around, and telling me what the continuity error is. And again, first person to come up to me from each school gets a Heyday keyring. I'll put a link below to where you can find the film on YouTube. Enjoy it. It's only about 4.5 minutes long, but it's funny, so watch it. Okay, see you next week. Bye-bye.